वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से प्रेम से कहो प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Bhagavata from Texas, welcoming all of you to the mid-morning Japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Let us move to our next part of the session, which is Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad class. May I know who have joined this call this morning? Hare
Bol Balvranda beta. So nice to hear your voice. This is Yashanti Priya Devidasi from Chicago. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sunil Prabhuji, for reciting the slokas.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Balvranda. Dhanvat pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Mataji.
For your sincere seva.
What? Oh, Hare Krishna Sunil Prabhuji. Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, we'll start the recording. And then you tell after Mataji comes, you can hand over the call, okay?
Uh-huh.
Let me hit the recording.
Okay. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa Group. Today's class will be given by Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Khanda 7.37 through 72.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Before that, you read the Srila Prabhupada.
Before that, I would like to read the Srila Prabhupada's quote. 13 March. Don't approach the cheater guru bluffer. Guru and be cheated. Stop this business. This has spoiled the whole spiritual atmosphere of the world. Take Guru, the Supreme Guru Krishna, Tehran, March 13, 1975. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
We'll see if Mataji joins. If Mataji is not there, we'll wait until Mataji comes. You can chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. No, this is pretty much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Baba, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Baba, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Baba, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Baba, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Baba, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Namaste Pranam, all goddesses here, Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and inviting us on the topic of Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Khanda 7.37 through 72 verses. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Balavrinda. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hare Krishna, He Krishna, Karuna Santo, Thina Bando, Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika, Kanta, Radha, Kanta, Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe, Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanu, Sute Devi, Pranamami, Hari Priye, Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya, Kripa Sandubhye, Vacha, Patita Nam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindaki, Jai. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today's call. I'm really excited to speak about this topic, of the following verses. So before getting into the verses for today, we'll do a quick recap of what this chapter is all about, Antya Kanta, chapter number 7. So this chapter is describing Sri Nityananda Prabhu's journey to Nilachal from Navadvip and our Gaurachandra's description of Nityananda's ornaments as the 9 types of devotional service. And Sri Nityananda's pastime of seeing Sri Lord Jagannath and the ecstatic pastime of Gaurachandra and Nityananda eating at the Tota Gopinath temple. Now, if you look at it, after taking the leave of Mother Sachimata in Sri Mayapur Dham, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, along with his associates, they went to Nilachal, where they stayed in one flower garden, it seems. And when Gaurachandra, he came to that garden to meet Nityananda Prabhu, the Lord Gaurachandra, he offered prayers to Nityananda by reciting the sloka beginning Grihiyat Yavani Bhanin. And then he circumambulated our Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu also manifested ecstatic love upon seeing the moon-like face of Gaurachandra. And then a current of great ecstasy swelled in the loving conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. When glorifying Sri Nityananda, Sriman Mahaprabhu said, gold, silver, pearls, rudraksha, etc. are found on the body of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. These are the 9 types of devotional service. And Sri Nityananda Prabhu has awarded to even fallen souls the most rare form of loving devotional service that is described by even the great sages and the mystic yogis. And Nityananda Prabhu is capable of giving away even Lord Krishna, who is supremely independent. That's, if there is this sort of conversation and this sort of praising that is happening between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, it is showing us Nityananda is the personal personification of mellows of devotional service to Krishna. And the body of Nityananda Prabhu himself is the abode of Krishna's pastimes. And Sri Nityananda Prabhu also revealed his own subordinate's nature to Sri Gaurachandra. So this is what we are going to be seeing, verse by verse, to sort of understand how the pastime is being carried out between Sri Gaurachandra and Nityananda Prabhu. As I mentioned, Mahaprabhu said the 9 types of devotional service certainly adorn the transcendental limbs of Sri Nityananda as his ornaments. So, dear devotees, let's get into the verse by verse for today and understand Gaurahari's prayers to Nityananda Prabhu and how Nityananda Prabhu then reciprocates his conversation with our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is all beyond our ordinary comprehension, which is what would be the conclusion of at the end of the chapter 7. It would just say it's all beyond our comprehension, at least ordinary people's comprehension. If you all can pull up the verses on your screen, 3.7.37. था बेकाते कृष्ण प्रभु था बेकाते शनि प्रभु योग हस्त कोरी नित्यानंद प्रति स्तुति कोरे गौरहरि. After some time, Gaurahari folded his hands and began to offer prayers to Nityananda. Can you all believe our Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is folding his hands and he is now beginning to offer his prayers to Nityananda? How glorious is Nityananda Prabhu. नाम रूपी तुम्ही नित्यानंद मूर्तिमंत श्री वैष्णव धाम तुम्ही ईश्वर अनंत. 38th verse. Oh Nityananda, you are the personification, you are the personified form of the holy name and the form of eternal bliss. You are the abode of all Vaishnavas and you yourself are Lord Ananta. Our Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura's commentary says, Sri Nityananda Prabhu is Ananta, that is, he is the supreme controller and he is the origin of all Vaishnavas. He is the personification of his holy name and form. Temporary mundane names and forms are subordinate objects. Then he also quotes Gopal Tapani Upanishads and he says, Param Brahma Krishnatmako Nityanandaika Rupaha. He is the supreme Brahman. He is the expansion of Krishna and he is the form of eternal bliss. Then he also quotes Mundaka Upanishad and he says, Sabhedait Paramam Brahma Dhamayatra Vishwam Nihitam Bhati Shubram. A learned transcendentalist, he is the one who would know Lord Ananta, the superintendent deity of the spiritual world and the personification of Sandhini energy in whom both the material and the spiritual world rest. Finally, he quotes Brahma Samhita and it's also told or talked about in the Brahma Samhita 5.2. It says, Sahasra Patra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpatam Tat Karnikaram Tat Dhama Tat Anantam Cha Sampavam. The excellent station of Krishna, which is known as Gokula, has thousands of petals and corals like the lotus sprouted from the part of infinitary aspect, the whirl of the leaves being the actual abode of Lord Krishna. So it talks about Gokul, which is the abode of Krishna from Brahma Samhita. Now, let's move on to the next verse, the 39th. Jata kishu tumara shri angera alankara sat Satya Satya Bhakti Yoga Avatara. All the ornaments decorating your transcendental body are incarnations of devotional service to Lord Krishna. And then this is repeated. This is the truth, 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 3 times. So if you look at this verse, it talks about the ornaments of Nityananda Prabhu's transcendental body, be it the jewelry or be it the garlands or be it the other decorations. From our materialistic point of view, they may look like mere material adornments. Instead, here it is being said in the commentary by our Acharya Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, it is said these ornaments are incarnations of devotional service, that is Bhakti Yoga to Lord Krishna. The decoration of the body represents some aspect of loving service to the Lord. And he emphasizes, Acharya emphasizes this as the absolute truth. That's why 3 times, Satya, Satya, Satya. That means it's, emphasized more. The reality is that all the eternal forms of Sri Nityananda Prabhu reflect some form of spiritual service, and it's just not material display. So what this verse teaches us is the transcendental appearance is a complete symbolic of devotion, showing that his body itself is a living expression of loving service to Lord Krishna. That is what it means, dear devotees. Now, let's move on to the next verse. Swarna Mukha Hira Kasha Rudrakshadi Rupe Navavida Bhakti Dari Yachani Sukhe. They said, you take the pleasure decorating yourself with the 9 process of devotional service in the form of ornaments bedecked with gold, pearls, diamonds, and rudraksha. And now here the commentary says, Kasha means bedecked or set with. So now in this verse, as we saw previously, Nityananda Prabhu's body is getting delighted in adorning. He is getting delighted in adorning his transcendental body with ornaments like gold, pearls, diamonds, and rudraksha and other precious ornaments. And what do they symbolize? They are just not merely decorative, right? They symbolize the 9 process of devotional service, Navavida Bhakti. Each ornament actually is a particular type of loving service to the Lord, such as it could be Shravanam, hearing, chanting, remembering. It could be offering obeisances, serving, friendship, surrender, and it could be also in the form of prayers. An ornament could be represented. Now, when you look at Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura's commentary, it clarifies the word Kasha means bedecked or set with, emphasizing that the ornaments are actively manifesting devotion, not passive decorations, dear devotees, not just materialistic way of display of decorations. That's something that we can understand from the verse. Next. Nicha jati patita adama yata jana toma hoite hoila e besa paramochana. All the fallen, wretched, low-born living entities will now be delivered by your mercy. Now, in the commentary and what is being spoken, the translation in the commentary is that this verse actually states that the fallen, wretched, or the low-born living beings are delivered by whom? They are delivered by the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And the commentary of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura or Acharya, it explains that the spiritual master, our Acharya or the spiritual master, is the one who removes the stigma of lower birth, which arises due to past material activities. He also frees us from incorrect learning, of course, fallen conditions, and misdirected life. The spiritual master, he is not going to remain inactive, right? He is the pure exalted personality who's going to take care of devotees or disciples' misery. So by his mercy, Nityananda Prabhu liberates all living entities from false notions of piety, impiety, from social distinctions like superiority, inferiority based on caste. So when it comes to the spiritual advancement, this art of devotional service is showing that spiritual advancement is going to be independent of birth, be it lower caste, upper caste, or when it comes to social status, you could be rich or poor. This is advanced. This is independent. That is the art of devotional service. Is it bound by caste? No. Is it bound by social status? No. Is it dependent on what sort of caste you have in this birth? No. Or previous birth? No. And spiritual master Nityananda Prabhu, he is the one who's going to liberate us and help us understand the superiority of devotional service, right? And that is the essence of this verse. So regardless of social standing, past life, or misdeeds, one can attain liberation and devotional service. And he emphasizes the compassion through his mercy to the ordinary souls. Ehi bhakti diya cha tumi vanika sabare taha vanche sura siddha muni yogeshware. Translation: the devotional service that you have given to the mercantile community is desired by the demigods, sages, perfect mystics, and great yogis. So again, according to our Acharya and the translation, so true devotional service is a treasure given by Nityananda Prabhu even to the people of the mercantile class. That could be like bankers or gold merchants, who are, at least by social status, they are considered inferior. Despite their social status, can they attain devotional service? Can they attain pure devotional service? Answer is yes. And this type of pure devotional service that we are talking about, it's so valuable that even the demigods, great mystics, great sages who are free from material desires, they desire it. That is how those people who are just so free from material desires, they are hankering for it. So this verse actually warns us that being born in the mercantile class does not automatically make one devotee. If someone in the community commits offenses against Nityananda Prabhu or his devotees and the devotional service, then they are considered to be bereft of devotional service. In other words, these people, they cannot claim to have attained true devotion merely because of the social position. That's also a point that we have to note, dear devotees. Whenever someone is going to commit offenses to the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu by opposing the devotees and devotional service of the Lord, we have to understand that they are going to be bereft of devotional service. They are unqualified to achieve the mercy of the spiritual master who is non-different than Nityananda Prabhu. Very, very important point, how and why not to commit offenses to the great devotees of the Lord, right? And again, there are two things that we have to note. Somebody could be a mercantile, still they could attain pure devotion. If they really have that aspect of devotional service in them, then they can definitely attain it. And this is what is being hankered by our demigods, mystics, and great sages. Even though they are free from material desires, they are all hankering for this pure devotion. And another point to note is, just because you are born in the mercantile community, it does not automatically make one devotee. You have to earn it, right? That's the point. Swatantra Koriya Vede Je Krishna Rekaya Hena Krishna Para Tumi Korite Vikraya. It is being said, Nityananda Prabhu, you're able to sell Krishna, who is proclaimed as independent in the Vedas. Acharya says the Supreme Lord is not dependent on anyone, but Nityananda Prabhu has taken control of him by serving Krishna. Sri Krishna is certainly the property of Nityananda Prabhu. So this verse, what is it stating? Sri Nityananda Prabhu is able to sell Krishna, even though Krishna is fully independent. So the commentary further clarifies that Lord Krishna is never dependent on anyone, right? And Nityananda Prabhu has taken control of him. Through what? Through loving service, dear devotees. So now Krishna can be called the property of Nityananda Prabhu, right? Everything. So Krishna is the independent Supreme Lord. But when you look at Nityananda Prabhu, he has conquered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his love. Nityananda Prabhu, so now that he is able to sell Krishna, through his mercy, he should be able to distribute the Lord's blessings. That's the point. See, one who has is one who can give us. What does that mean? If somebody has pure devotion in them, then that is the person whom we can get that pure devotion from. Say, for example, I don't have $10, then how can I give you $10? Right? This is exactly what our devotion looks like. If somebody has pure devotion, that is the person whom we can go and beg and borrow and get that from. So that's why we go to our spiritual master. He has everything, and if his merciful glance comes upon us, then we get that pure devotion. Pure devotion is not easy, right? If you are asked to do 24 hours, just chant Krishna's name, do devotional service, do the 9 process of devotional service. Are we able to do that just by our mere will? No way. I can try doing it for an hour, 2, maybe chant, of course, for a few hours, maybe half a day, just try to prolong it as much as possible. But this is all with force that we are doing it. Yeah, I have to do it. But there comes a day where you will spontaneously do. When you go to that Ashakti stage, at that stage, you will have to be pulled away from Krishna to enter into the reality of material world. Can you imagine that phase? Right now, I'm at a phase where I am attracted to all material, all things this material world has to offer. But when I go to the stage of Ashakti, again, there is a long list that, we get to Ashakti, of course, it's not easy. Even to get to Drida Shraddha, it's not easy. What about Asakti? Anyways, to get there, and when we get there, that feeling is totally different, because you're thinking about Krishna all the time. And to even understand what this material reality is all about, you have to pull yourself away from Krishna for a moment to understand what's exactly going on. It's not, it's totally the opposite for me now, at least. So that's where we have to get to, dear devotees. Pure devotion can be got only by the mercy of somebody who has pure devotion. Service to them is something that we always have to hanker for. Okay, and again, in the process, we should never commit any offenses to anybody. It could be the pure devotee of the Lord, it could be his devotees. So that's the point. You cannot commit offenses with anybody. Vaishnavata aparat is one of the most deadly things that we should forbid from doing. Okay, let's go to the 44th verse. Tomara mahima jani bhare shakti khara murti mana tumi Krishna rasa avatara. Who has the power to know your glories? You're the personification of the transcendental mellows of Krishna. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the personification of transcendental mellows of love for Krishna. And he obviously portrays the 5 types of rasa in relationship with Krishna. And so we all know about that. He portrays the 5 types. All right. Bahya nahi jana tumi sankitana shuke aharnisha Krishna guna tomara shrimuke. You have forgotten the external world and engaged day and night in glorifying the qualities of Krishna. This is something only a pure devotee can exhibit, isn't it? Completely absorbed in glorifying Krishna day in, day out. Showing that, okay, my mind, my body, my speech, they're all fully dedicated to Krishna in loving devotional service, forgetting all mundane attachments, all material things. This stage is totally unimaginable, dear devotees. That is what Sri Nityananda Prabhu is all about. And all his Brajavasis, everybody, they all think of Krishna day in and day out. Nothing but Krishna. This eyes or this hands or this legs or any part of the body, not even a part is idle without doing Krishna's, without doing Krishna, without thinking about Krishna, without seeing Krishna. Every part of the body is engaged in the loving mood of Krishna. This is the glories of devotional service. When one is engaged in pure devotion and one becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, he's completely detached from the material world, and all mundane attachments are no longer going to affect him. Krishna Chandra Tomara Hridaya Nirantara Tomara Vigraha Krishna Vilasera Ghora. Krishna Chandra always resides in your heart. Thus, your body is the abode of Krishna's pastimes. Because Krishna eternally resides in Nityananda heart, Nityananda Prabhu's heart, it makes his body a living abode of Krishna's pastimes, illustrating how intimately he is in connection with the Supreme Lord. This is the point. Very beautiful. Atayeva thumare ye jone priti kore satya satya Krishna kaibu na chadi bekha thare. Therefore, it is certainly true that Krishna will never leave anyone who becomes attached to you. So the point here is, dear devotees, anyone who takes a sincere attachment to Nityananda Prabhu is assured that Krishna will never abandon them. That is the merciful nature or protective and merciful nature of his association. Somebody is attached to Nityananda Prabhu, then Krishna is definitely not going to leave him at all. Let's all tightly hold Nityananda Prabhu's hands so that we are able to get the mercy of Krishna. Tabekate shani Nityananda Mahashayi Bhalite lagilati koriya vinaya. Therefore, Lord Nityananda humbly spoke to the Lord as follows. So after witnessing everything, Nityananda Prabhu now humbly is addressing the Lord, showing his modesty and devotion. So what's the conversation now? Prabhu hai tum jaya amara karastuti ye tomara vatsalya bhaktera pratiyoti. Although you are the Lord, you know what, Gaurachandra, you are offering prayers to me. This is the proof of affection for your devotees. How can a Lord who is the supreme offer prayers to devotees? Have you ever seen this in the material world? A CEO of a company, talking about an employee who's paid less than $2,000 for 20 minutes or 30 minutes because of his sincere hard work. No, this doesn't happen in material life. Material life, a high statured person doesn't care or doesn't talk much about doesn't talk much about the person who's below him. But when it comes to the spiritual world, the Lord, the only thing that binds the Lord is the love of the devotee. He gets bound when you show him that love. And he's ready to go to any extent. He doesn't care, he's the supreme. He likes to come to you and he likes to serve you in any form. It could be offering prayers to the Lord. It could be offering prayers to you. It could be even doing circumambulating you. That's what the next verse is going to tell you. How Gaura Hari circumambulates Nityananda Prabhu. This is all unimaginable. When we have that love for the Lord, whatever the reciprocation that he would give to us is just unimaginable, dear devotees. What an exchange of love that's happening between the two. And I cannot even imagine how the Lord, who is the supreme, is bound by that kind of love. And that is why Vrajavasis, they think about Krishna day in and day out. That reciprocation, that viraha, is unimaginable. At least when we read the 10th canto, I know 10th canto needs a lot of understanding of the subject matter from previous cantos so that we could understand the real mood that's happening between Vrajavasis and Krishna. I know it would take me lifetimes to understand that mood, to even understand that mood of the devotees. Now here Nityananda Prabhu is blown away by the fact that Gaura Hari is offering prayers to him. Pradakshina kora kiba kora namaskar, kiba mora kiba raka je icha thomar. You may circumambulate me, offer obeisances to me, kill me or protect me according to your own will. Nityananda Prabhu humbly is telling Gaurahari, he is entirely at Lord's disposal, right? He acknowledges Gaurahari may circumambulate him or offer him obeisances or protect him or even take away his life according to his own will. What does this show, dear devotees? It shows that it's a mood of complete surrender and devotion. He accepts Lord's will in every matter, so as to speak. That's the point. Next verse. Kono vakya vakya tava prabhu achitoma stani ki banahi deka tumi divya dhasharan. In this verse, it is said, the translation, "Oh Lord, what can I say to you? You see everything through your transcendental eyes." Yes, Gaurahari sees everything to his transcendental vision, beyond the ordinary perception. It is actually showing Nityananda Prabhu's, it demonstrates Nityananda Prabhu's humility and awe before the all-knowing Lord. It actually shows the intimate mood of devotion, where even the supreme personalities like Nityananda Prabhu, they are unable to express their inability to fully describe Lord's glories. That's how Lord is. It's just unimaginable, isn't it? Now, the next verse, 52nd, right? Mona prana sobhara ishwara prabhu tumi je ko rahase rupa kori ami. You're the Lord and life of all beings. I do whatever you make me to do. Nityananda Prabhu now is acknowledging, Gaurahari, you're the Lord and life of all beings, and whatever action I perform, he does so according to Gaura's will. Imagine, dear devotees, if our life is tuned to do activities according to Lord's will, just nothing but Lord's will. All the, when we express our mind, when we express our heart, when we do some form of action in the body, if they're all governed by this divine instruction of Gaurahari residing in your heart, demonstrating that all the time in all actions that we perform, then what would it show? It would show us that we are in the complete mood of surrender and devotion. That is the depth of the humility, that I'm governed by Lord's will, nothing but Lord's will. With us, at least with me, when it comes to decision making, be it through body, mind, and soul, it's all about, is it favorable to me or is it not favorable to me? Am I getting any benefit out of it or not? That's all I care about, right? But our mood has to be, is this going to be pleasing to Krishna? If that's not pleasing to Krishna, let me avoid doing this particular action. When will that day come when I think about it in that manner? This is the point. It's all about acting in a humble way, in the mood of loving devotional service to the Lord, on always expressing your heart, your actions through your mind, body, that if it is actually favorable for our devotional service, if I commit this act, is it actually going to help me progress in devotional service or not? Of course, dear devotees, you will not believe how many material circumstances that come in our life which are actually deviating away from Krishna. And we are forced to take some sort of a decision at that point based on the benefit, material benefit that we see. So, dear devotees, this is a very good learning point for us. Then, apane mori tumi danda dharila, apane kuchaiya irupa korila. You induced me to accept danda, and then you made it reject. You yourself made me reject it. You only you made me accept the danda, right? And then he made him reject it. So this is what you are, Gaurachandra, like that. Nityananda Prabhu is commenting here. Tada khadu vetravamsi singha chandra todi, iha dari lana ami muni dharma chadi. I gave up the duties of a mendicant and accepted bracelets, anklets, stick, a flute, a buffalo horn, and a robe. So Nityananda Prabhu is actually here describing that he has given up his mendicant duties and he is accepting instruments and ornaments for Lord Krishna's pastimes. So he shows, this shows his willing adaptation to Lord's desires, giving up whatever aesthetic principles to serve Gaurahari. Each item that he's accepting is a part of divine, is a part of divine pastimes and service to the Lord. This is the point. Acharyadi tomara yati ke priya ghana sabhare dhila tapa bhakti acharana. You have taught the principles of austerity and devotional service to Advaita Acharya and dear devotees. This relevance of this verse is to demonstrate that Nityananda Prabhu's role as a teacher and guide of devotional service by instructing Advaita Acharya and his dear associates into loving devotional service. So this actually also ensures that the principles of spiritual life are preserved and propagated. There is the transmission of sacred knowledge to sincere devotees, which actually strengthens the foundation of Bhakti Yoga, dear devotees. Muni dharma chadiya je koila amare vyavahari jone se sokele hasya khore. You induced me to give up the duties of mendicant and made me an object of laughter for the common people. It's again, what is it showing? If you could understand this verse, it's actually showing us that how an exalted personality like our Nityananda Prabhu can humble himself for the pleasure of the Lord and for the benefit of the devotees. So now he's telling, by giving up the austere duties of a mendicant, he has become an amusement for ordinary people. If you look at each and every verse, it's all talking about his complete surrender to the compliance of Lord's will, dear devotees. It emphasizes the true devotional service transcends what all it transcends. It transcends the social respect. It transcends the conventional roles. It transcends the external appearance of how you look. It just highlights one important thing, which is love. Love is the paramount. Nothing else matters. If you look at our divine pastimes, it often would appear sometimes unusual, sometimes humorous to ordinary spectators if they were to listen about it for the first time. But it actually serves a higher purpose. Nityananda Prabhu doesn't care, okay, if I become laughter for the common people, so what? It's Gaura's will. I'm only caring about Gaura's will, and love is the paramount here. I'm just at Lord's will. Whatever it is, his desire, that is the desire that needs to be fulfilled. Whether I become a laughing stock or not, I really don't care. That's not my intention to care about me. No. So this is another beautiful derivation that we can understand and retrospect how these conversations are happening between exalted devotees such as Nityananda Prabhu and Gaurahari. To even be able to relish and read, dear devotees, we're all fortunate. Just coming as a Sangha and then discussing about these pastimes, I think we're all really blessed. And if somebody has that kind of time early in the morning before going work to understand these pastimes and relish, what else? Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is already on you, right? Very, very grateful for that time that we have to be able to talk Krishna Katha, discuss Krishna Katha early in the morning before we start our day. Tomara nataka ami nachavu e rupe se rupa nachiami tomara kautuke. I'm only a dancer in your hands. I dance for your pleasure as you wish. That's the same theme is repeated. Nigraha ki anugraha tumi se praman Vrakshadhare karatumi thomare se naam. You alone can bestow mercy or neglect. The proof is that you have induced even trees to chant your name. If you look at Nityananda Prabhu, he's telling you're the only qualified person to display mercy or neglect. Not only human beings, even the lower species like plants are eligible to attain your mercy and serve the Supreme Lord. If the holy name of Krishna is chanted, then even living entities whose consciousness is underdeveloped can attain the benefit. So, what this verse talks about, Hare Krishna, it highlights the supreme authority and the mercy of the Lord, obviously. What it tells us is the fact that he is the one who can bestow the favor, divine favor, or he could be the one who could withhold that favor from us. Inanimate objects like trees, they can also participate in devotional service when the Lord so wills. It's all his potency, it's all his mercy, all providing potency of his mercy. So it teaches the holy name of Krishna has this universal power and it's capable of benefiting all living entities across the board, regardless of their consciousness, dear devotees. What a point, isn't it? Regardless of what level of consciousness, this chanting of the holy name can benefit. The day should come when we are able to chant the names of the Lord with a loving mood. And that is what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us all through, how to chant the names of the Lord with loving mood. What all we should avoid, how to get there, to be able to chant in that mood. And once we understand the crux of what Srimad Bhagavatam is all about, we would understand that it's all talking about how to chant Premanam at the end of the day, right? Very difficult, very difficult. To be able to chant and hear the holy name itself is difficult. And the day has to come when we chant it with loving mood that we want to never stop chanting. प्रभु बले तुम्हारे ये देखर अलंकार नवविध भक्ति भाई खिंचू ना है यार. The Lord replied, the ornaments on your body are nothing but the 9 processes of devotional service. Navavidha bhakti bhai khichu na hai aar. It's what it is. Your ornaments on the body are nothing but it represents the 9 processes of devotional service. And what are the 9 processes being described in the next verse? Shravana Kirtana Smaranadi Namaskar Ei se tomara sarva kala alankar. Your body is eternally decorated with ornaments like what? Hearing, chanting, remembering, and offering obeisances. Naga Vibhushanayena Dhurene Sankare Tahanahi Sorvajane Bhuji Bhare Bhare. Yet people cannot understand this, just as they do not understand why Shankara decorates his body with a serpent. Of course, dear devotees, how a person looks externally can only tell us so much, but we don't know how, even in a material world, how the person is internally, we have no clue. In this material world, I see people at least every day having tattoos in their body, and I understand that there is this feeling of insecurity within them. That's why they display it in the form of tattoos to show something. But at the end of the day, whatever it is, we will not be able to understand how that person's internal mood is. Even with external show-offs, we cannot understand that. And we are not supposed to judge anybody, right? And that's not what we are here for. It's not our duty to judge anybody. By judging people, all we do is commit aparadh. So let's just abstain from doing that. And here it's being talked about, some people don't understand what the spiritual significance of why Shankara decorates his body with serpent. In spiritual sense, you could also say that Shankara's neck represents the control. The serpent around the neck, it actually represents control over fear and death. And snakes are often dangerous, and wearing that symbolizes his master over this material world. Mastery over what? Time, fear, worldly dangers, and so on and so forth. Of course, he loves Ananta. That could also be representation of him loving Ananta. So when we don't know what to infer based on your external decorations, we just have to abstain from judging anybody in this regard. We cannot understand this, so just leave it. When some things don't get to our head, let's not assume, let's not judge, let's not make any comments on any specific person, any specific thing for that matter. Okay. Paramarthe Mahadeva Ananta Jivana Naga Chole Ananta Dharina Sarvakshana. Actually, Mahadev accepts Ananta as his life and soul. Therefore, he always keeps Ananta in the form of serpent, wrapped around his neck. This is the point. That's why he loves Ananta so much, to a point where he wants to have Ananta in the form of serpent wrapped around his neck, because he is his life and soul. Na bhujiya nindeta na koritra aghata yati ke nindaya thara hoya karya bhada. People without understanding his unfathomable characteristics criticize him. As a result, their progress is checked. Imagine Vaishnavanam Etasambho. He is the exalted of all living beings and exalted beings. And without understanding his unfathomable qualities, if people criticize, what's the result? Even if somebody were to criticize somebody else based on their spiritual stature in this material world, they will stoop down from where they are. Vaishnava Aparat is the one that's getting you down and down and down in spiritual service, dear devotees. So many stories in Bhagavatam tells us that your hindrance in spiritual progress is due to Vaishnava aparad. Let's just forbid from committing that aparad. But it is so hard for this material mind to not judge anybody, to not criticize anybody. Imagine you're criticizing the Lord. What is in store for you? Nothing. I mean, your spiritual service or spiritual life is doomed. The result is your progress is being checked. It hinders your spiritual progress. It just hinders your spiritual progress. And whatever, if we don't understand the unfathomable glories of the Lord or Mahadev Shiv, we are not supposed to. We have to try to learn about the qualities, the transcendental qualities of them. That is why Shastra comes into play, not superficial judgment, not an outwardly comment. When we, these days, even I've started to think about how I can restrict my speech. If it's not required, let me not talk, or let me not waste my energy. That is sort of the conclusion I have gotten to. Because it's not worth it, dear devotees. At the end of the day, we want to talk, exhibiting our emotions and so on and so forth. But for me, at least, just the past few weeks, I've gotten to this realization to say, if it's better to avoid any sort of conversation, then let's avoid it if it's a waste of time, right? For anybody, the actions of body, mind, and speech are very important. And what we talk, what we speak, and what we have in our minds, it's very important for us to introspect and contemplate upon, to become a better human being. At least come to first the mode of goodness, and then elevate yourself after. For me, the mode of goodness is the goal. Okay, am I leading in that direction? If not, what I have to do to get to the mode of goodness? What actions can I perform? How can it be favorable to devotional service? If at all, if I have to take a decision, is it favorable, not favorable? If it's not favorable, then how can I avoid? Saying a no can get me down to a point where I may lose a contract, or I may lose something materially. Is it worth it? Of course it is worth it. That is what our scriptures teach us. That is what our spiritual leaders teach us. That is what our Guru Maharaj would teach us. If it's against the Vaishnava principle, we are not supposed to take any activity, even if it gives money. But to even be able to decide and be able to say a no to such kind of activity requires you to be in mode of goodness. That's what I understood. Okay, if I'm not there, I'm not there. I have to strive to get to mode of goodness. Yes, right? Munita tomara ange bhakti rasa bine, anya nahi dekon ka bukhaya vakya mane. I don't see anything in your transcendental body, mind, and speech other than the mellows of devotional service. Gaur Chandra is telling Nityananda Prabhu that he is not able to see anything else in the limbs of Nityananda Prabhu. The 9 types of devotional service are ornaments to your body. That's what I'm able to see. Gaurachandra tells Nityananda Prabhu, you're always engaged in the loving service of Krishna, and Gaurachandra doesn't see anything other than this. Lord, he's in your heart and he sees each and every action of us. It's like he's hiding, but we never understand that he is there in our heart, trying to reciprocate with us, trying to bring us. If you look at our parents, they're always with us, guiding through all situations in life. We can physically see them, so we are able to connect to them. But our Lord, he is in everybody's heart, trying to help us. Oh yeah, you have to come out of this. That is the purpose of the purpose of this material world, the material relationship. Everything is for you to get out of it. See, Lord tells us, I'm waiting for you. The day has to come where you have to understand that I'm more than anything this material world has to offer. And all matters at the end of the day is for you to love me, nothing else. This is all I want. And for that, I'm within your heart, trying to help you. If you have that desire of wanting to come to me, I'm going to be there to be that pillar of support for you. Right? Like how our parents are in this world where we can actually see them. God is just hiding in our heart, trying to grab our attention onto him. And the day when we say, yes, I want you, he will make that effort to have us come closer to him. Gaurachandra is like that, and we can see how he is offering prayers to Nityananda Prabhu, how he is saying that I can see nothing in you, Nityananda, except that I can see just the mellows of devotional service. He observes Nityananda Prabhu's body, mind, and speech. It's entirely filled with the mellows of devotional service. Nothing material is seen in Nityananda Prabhu. He embodies pure devotional sentiments. This is what that verse says. Nanda Goshti Rase Tumi Vrindavane Shuki Dariyacha Alankara Apane Kautuke. For your own pleasure, you're willing to be accepting the transcendental mellows relished by the Vrajavasis as your ornaments. So Nityananda Prabhu, he has decorated his body with the ornaments of transcendental mellows that are always found in whom? Our associates of Rajendrananda Krishna in Vrindavan. That's what they have. They just have Krishna, and that is their ornament. And that's found in whom? Are Rajavasis. And that's exactly what is found in your body as ornaments, which describe the transcendental mellows of devotional service, Nityananda Prabhu. Iha dekhi je sukruti chite paya sukha, se avashya dekhi be Krishnera Shri Mukha. A fortunate person who takes pleasure hearing these topics will certainly see Krishna's beautiful face. So it's all you devotees, you're able to see this transcendental exchange of love that's happening between our Gaurachandra and Nityananda Prabhu. What are you all going to attain? One who's hearing this transcendental topics, they are going to see Krishna's beautiful face, definitely. One who hears and appreciates the transcendental pastimes with devotion will attain the vision of Krishna's form. That is the power of Shravan, to be able to help us to purify our heart and to be able to enable us to get that direct spiritual realization. Our eyes will then be anointed with prema. When we get to see Gaurachandra's face, when we get to see Krishna's beautiful face, our eyes will be anointed with prema. That's what we are all hankering for. It's not easy, but we will keep hankering for it day in, day out. At least in our heart of hearts, we desire that. Vetra Vamshi Shinga Gunja Hara Malya Gandha Sarva Kalaye Rupa Tomara Shri Anga. You're always adorned with stick, flute, buffalo horn, gunia, necklace, flower garlands, and sandalwood pulp. Nityananda's body is adorned with objects like stick, flute, buffalo horn, sandalwood pulp. So, as always, as is mentioned in the previous verse, what are they? They are just not mere decorations, but uh, they are all symbols of his engagement in transcendental pastimes, demonstrating that each and every aspect of this form is a reflection of divine loving service to the Lord. Okay, that is what it is. जाते के भलक देखी तोमारा संहाती श्रीदामा सुधामा प्राय लाया मोर मती. I know yesterday's class you were discussing about how Lakshman and Ram, how it was reminding of Lakshman and Ram in one of the speaker last class. He was talking about that, right? And you had one of the verse in relevance to that. Now here it is being said, the boys who associate with Nityananda Prabhu, they remind Gaurachandra of Sridama and Sudama, who are dear associates of Krishna and Vrindavan. Gaurachandra, it's just about Krishna. He's Krishna and Radha in one form, and when it comes to him, he could just only see Krishna, right? I mean, Krishna in Vrindavan is what is dear to him, and that's what he's able to see. The boys who are associating with Nityananda Prabhu, who am I reminded of? It's just reminding me of Sridama and Sudama. That's what our Gaurachandra says. How his mood is completely in Vrindavan's pastimes, thinking about Krishna in Vrindavan and Brajvasis. Vrindavana Kiridhara Yati Keshi Shughana Sakala Thomara Sangelaya Moramana. I therefore think of all your associates are boys who used to play with you in Vrindavan. So for him, all associates of Nityananda Prabhu are like boys who played with Krishna in Vrindavan. So Vrindavan's eternal bliss is spoken about in the few verses that we've spoken about now. Sei bhava, sei khanti, sei sabha shakti, sarva dehe dehi, sei nanda goshti bhakti. I see in your body the sentiments, the beauty, and the potencies manifested in devotional service of the residents of Vrindavan. Gaurachandra is just involved in the ras of Vrindavan, thinking about the boys, thinking about Nityananda Prabhu's associates, he just gets reminded of Sudama and Sudama. Thinking about, okay, the boys who are associated with you, I'm thinking about Vrindavan's where Krishna played with the boys in Vrindavan. I'm reminded of that. All your associates, Nityananda Prabhu, are like boys who played with Krishna in Vrindavan. That's what is reminding me of. Now, when I see, your body, beauty, and potencies, I just see that service of the residents of Vrindavan, how they perform to Krishna. That's kind of what I see as a mood in you too. That's what is Gaurachandra's. He's completely in the mood of Vrindavan, and whatever he sees, that's what he's able to see. Nothing else. It's all. If I'm seeing in Bhagavad Gita, it's being said, we have to identify everything that we see in this material world associated with Krishna. It takes an effort. Maybe when we read that one sloka of Bhagavad Gita, we can see, oh yes, this is the water is Krishna, this is Krishna. But to be able to constantly think about nothing but Krishna, that needs mercy, dear devotees. When we are trying to understand these transcendental conversations, it's totally beyond my realm to even talk about it. But their mood is such that they talk about only Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna. And when you look at associates, yes, I look at Vrajavasis of Krishna. When I look at this, it reminds me of that in Vrindavan. This is what Gaurachandra is able to relate. And he says, यते के ये तुम्हारा सेवा कोरे, प्रीति कोरे, satya satya se kore amare. Therefore, whoever loves you or your servants actually love me, because I see you. What I see you in the form of 9 process of devotional service. The ornaments that are you are wearing, they represent 9 forms of devotional service. Your body, your sentiments, your beauty, your potency, it is manifesting devotional service the same as how the residents of Vrindavan are manifesting. So I see Vrindavan in you basically. And therefore, whoever is going to love you, Nityananda Prabhu, they are factually loving me. That is the point. And then our final verse for today, it says, Swanubhandane duyi mukunta ananta ki rupe ki kohe ke jani bhatharanta. Who can fully understand what Mukunda and Ananta spoke in their own ecstatic mood? So it's saying the ecstatic talks of Mukunda or Krishna and Ananta, his associates, are so transcendental that nobody can comprehend them. When it comes to understanding, it conveys, okay, there is that divine ecstasy. And pastimes, if you look at it, it's all beyond our ordinary understanding. And it's only accessible to advanced devotees. And through them, if we have that grace and mercy, then we'll be able to understand a teeny tiny bit of what this conversation is all about. Otherwise, it's totally impossible for us to comprehend and understand what sort of ecstatic mood they were in and how they were talking with each other, how one is the supreme, but still he just falls to the feet of Nityananda Prabhu, circumambulates him, glorifies him, offers him prayers. We see the other way, but when we see the Lord doing all this, it makes us wonder, oh my God, what's going on here? So complete surrender, pure devotion, and then thinking of nothing, mind, body, and speech involved in Krishna all the time. Only such person is capable of comprehending, and these are advanced people. Through their grace, maybe we can comprehend and understand a teeny tiny bit of what conversation is this happening between Ananta and Mukunda dear devotees. So with this, I think we can conclude today's class. We are at the mark of the hour, but it was such a pleasure discussing this topic in Bhakti Sangha Japa with all of you enthusiastic participants, all the time attending the classes every day without fail. I sincerely beg to your lotus feet, a day may come that I may become like you, to be able to eagerly await for these classes that happen every morning and be able to attend in person. Sometimes recordings are the only hope for me, but to be able to attend in person is definitely a blessing. Let that time come to me as a favor for me to be in person every day to listen with you. Okay, so with this, we will conclude today's session, dear devotees. Again, Vanchakalpatarupyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas
Thank
Thakur
you.
ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All praise to the assembled devotees.
Thank you, Mataji.
Praise to Guru Maharaj and
Hare
Sri.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. We'll close the call for today. Hari Bol. Did we do the question and answers also, Mataji? I was a little away from here.
Oh, sorry, we just finished the class, Mataji.
Oh, okay. We can take the question and answers. I was on the other call. Okay. Dear devotees, if anybody have any questions or realizations, please go ahead. Sunil Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji Kanathanam. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautiful and wonderful class. And Mataji was saying about that judging the devotees. Can you say a little bit about that? One is you said like criticism. Yeah, we can keep I can keep my mouth shut and that avoid criticism. That I do, but judging is like in mental. It's very difficult.
Correct, Prabhu. So when we do mental aparats, that's also considered a form of aparat. So what we try to do is just pray to Krishna at that point, to not be able to judge. I mean, just not have that mentality of judging anybody. Just pray to Krishna. Krishna will help us in that time. That's the only hope for us, Prabhu. Nothing can help us other than just praying to Krishna at that point, to be able to avoid committing even an aparat in a mental form. Okay, so he can help us when we do it sincerely from our heart of hearts, that see Krishna, I don't really want to criticize this devotee, but for some reason I am doing so mentally in my mind, not physically, but still I don't want to commit that aparadh and degrade from my spiritual position. Just pray to him with the heart soul. Then he will take care of her, he will take care. And then keep listening to Vaishnava Prats, the Bhagavatam stories that talk about it and what the repercussions are, how we will fall from our position of current position in devotional service. All that could become learning lessons to us, and in that way, all matters to us at the end of the day is what's your connection with Krishna. That's all. I mean, don't worry about others who are here. Um, we don't have any relation. We don't know the inner motive of them, so we are not in a position to comment about them. Think about it from that perspective. I know it's very hard, but let's seek Krishna's help and let's seek our spiritual master's help in this regard.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much.
Sure.
And Mataji also said that it is by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is on us. That's why we are able to hear this Chaitanya Bhagavat class. So how do we develop that gratefulness? For me, it's like, okay, just a part of life, like daily classes day I'm attending. So
No,
that
Prabhu,
gratefulness.
yeah, so you have to understand not many people are grateful. I mean, not many people like you are able to attend the class in person. Even if you look at me, my work starts exactly at 9 a.m. and I'll be on calls from 9 a.m. to say evening, God knows when. And the only time I catch up with these are, my driving, back and forth, and then whenever possible, wherever possible during lunch, not even breaks. But yes, it's not that everybody, Krishna is able to give that time to everybody. When we are given that time, that means we are special. That definitely means we have to be really grateful for it. The time we are able to spend in Krishna's consciousness is due to Krishna's mercy and our Guru Maharaj's mercy. So definitely keep praying to hear more, tell Krishna, I need more time, more time. Like just hanker and desire for it and he'll give it to you. And that time you feel so grateful that your mind is completely conscious of Krishna and nothing but Krishna. Because the desire is there in you to hanker for hearing more, listening more, doing more for Krishna. Okay, and when you develop that gratefulness that not everybody in this world have the same time as me, I'm really fortunate.
Yes, Mataji. And that Krishna won't take away, no? Means this
He
time.
he will not take away if you hanker for more, Prabhu. No, definitely not. He will not take away. But there can be, see, for me, he took away a little bit of time, but even though he took away that time, this material world is teaching me a lot of lessons. Like, I deal with people on a day-to-day basis where I develop tolerance because I'm in the client side. And we, when it comes to business, it's all about client interactions, client dealings. So he teaches me lessons like, how I have to be tolerant with people, how I have to accommodate people in however mood they are. Krishna, whatever he does, it's for our own good. He could teach us so many life lessons, even through interaction with people. Whenever I see people who are in anxiety, I definitely see, this chanting has helped me to, listening to this lecture and being on the being on business dealings with them has helped me because I have to be tolerant in such situations. You don't know, sometimes, say for example, there is an appointment I have and this client is getting late and she's being seen 10 minutes late. She'll be so anxious. Why am I not seen now? Why am I seen 10 minutes after? And I have to talk to her to convince her, see, we are running a little bit late and somehow the providers had to go through some other procedure for a little bit longer. How I talk to them, how I convey this message to them. Krishna is teaching me how I should deal with that person in a very calm way, right? All this is Krishna's mercy only and our Guru Maharaj's mercy. So anything we learn, we can't take it for granted. We are blessed because we are able to hear this lesson. We are able to understand what's going on, how the interactions between great devotees are, and how Nityananda Prabhu's mood is. How can I emulate that? How can I follow that? These are things that we have to be fortunate for, and we should not take it light. Okay, Prabhu? And Krishna will definitely give you more time if you hanker for more time from him.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And please give us your more association. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. So, if there is an aparadh made where you were not aware that you are doing an aparadh,
because you did not had this knowledge of
Correct.
like bowing down to sannyasi, and you did not had this. So how does it work? You still create an aparad and
They say when we are ignorant of certain things and we commit an aparad, the effect is lesser than when we know it and commit it. Okay. But ignorance is not bliss. Okay. So that's the point. At some point, when we become aware that it is not right, then we try to mend it. Till that time, so the small things might happen, Mataji, in our day-to-day lives where our chanting might not be as effective as it was before. Certain things where we'll understand that I am not heading in the right direction. That is a point where we have to think and revert and say, oh my God, let me be careful, let me introspect, let me see what's missing, where is the gap. All that has to be understood. Then, when we see our devotional service is not enthusiastic, it's not like going in a flow, it's not like I'm just forcing myself to do some things. Those are the things that can be indicators for you to see that there is some gap somewhere, and we need to retrospect, understand, and then mend ourselves. And then knowledge again has to be continuously updated, right? I mean, now with AI we are trying to ask ChatGPT for everything, and but when it comes to us, we have to be our ChatGPT when it comes to the pastimes, when it comes to understanding our Acharya's commentary, Srila Prabhupada's commentary. That has to always happen. Ignorance is never a bliss. But again, as I said, the effect of it is much less when we don't know as opposed to when we know. Okay, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Balavrinda. No school today?
Spring break,
Mataji,
Mataji.
spring break.
Oh,
Actually, we are done with the spring break, and today is the last day, technically. Saturday and Sunday,
Balavrinda is an
Monday we are
excellent
open.
example of how to exemplify in devotion. She'll be there in kids' class, she'll be there in adults' class, she'll be listening. Oh my God, you're such a fortunate girl because your mom is there everywhere. You're there with her all the time. I'm so happy that, you're definitely a great source of inspiration for all of us. Like how blessed someone can be in terms of time. Sunil Prabhu, to your question, she has that time. Not every kid has that time, right? So she's definitely
No,
special.
no, Mataji, no.
Bhakti Sangha is the time, Mataji. Bhakti Sangha giving us this opportunity to listen to Katha every single day.
Yeah.
We are very grateful to Bhakti Sangha. If no Bhakti Sangha, then we are not here. So
Yeah.
it's all glories to Bhakti Sangha.
I have 2 points, Mataji.
Sure. Go for
So
it.
one point is that like even like when like the trees or like small insects, if we chant with like love and devotion, and we chant really loudly, so they can also hear and they'll also get benefit from chanting.
Correct.
Krishna's name.
Absolutely. What's your next one?
The same, like I just joined them like to chant in a loving mood.
You took the two together. Perfect. Thank you for your realization, Balaprinda.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the beautiful class. As you started with saying how Nityananda is so merciful, he does not see anything, whether what is our past thing, most importantly, where we are, how we are. As soon as we take up this Krishna consciousness, he's ready to give us that love and take away all those sins that we already did. No matter how bad we were,
How
he's
fallen
gonna,
we are.
yeah, he's gonna give us all the mercy. So that moment, that love, that surrender, that complete surrender should come to us, and then we chant Hare Krishna in that mood. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Are there any more questions?
Yeah.
I don't think. Maybe in the chat there are some questions.
No, Prahladhanand Prabhu put something. Mataji, did you read that, Mataji? What
Koti Dhanvat Pranam, Mataji. She's leaving. Mataji, please bless us so we can become like you. Yeah, he put like a verse.
Yeah. What Prahladhanand?
The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking up the honey available from the lotus feet of the Lord. What is the use of topics which simply waste one's valuable life?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Very beautiful, very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mataji, for always giving your personal examples also that you deal with the people. and they test
Like-
your tolerance.
Yeah, she also gave like examples about like about her also like what was it? It was like she gave examples.
Yeah, this material, the
Yeah,
whole
material.
Yeah, the whole material life is just full of tests that we have, and it's not about how successful we are, but at the end of the day, how you groom as a personality. In these tests, what matters? Are we coming to goodness? Is what is the ultimatum? I think coming to goodness for us is very important to be situated in devotional service. So let's all get to that platform and then furthermore progress in the path of devotion.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I really like the way you said that are we ready to give that, that money or whatever the credit you are going to get, are you ready to leave it for the learnings you have done? So like a judgment, are you ready to do that judgment call? So that was wonderful.
Absolutely, Mataji. For me, I come across so many decision-making things during, when we have a business and we do this, and so many things come, and I always think about it. Is it favorable for us from a ISKCON perspective? Is this favorable for Krishna's devotional service or not? At certain situations, it so happens. Say, for example, it could be as simple as giving in the US you have resident care facilities, they call it, right, where you can take care of residents who are elderly people and serve them. In the process, we thought this was a good opportunity to serve the residents. But then in the process of serving the residents, you could take care of their medication, you will be taking care of them, they'll be with you as residents and you'll be serving them. And in the process, you have to feed them too. And when it comes to feeding, we will have to feed them as they wish. So it could be anything that they want out of the table. And are you willing to take that step of feeding them what they want? Or are you going to leave this business opportunity because it's not favorable to Krishna consciousness? This is a real lifetime example, right? It's very difficult. It's a very lucrative, profitable business opportunity, but are you willing to forego that opportunity? It's life presents us with so many tough decisions, and what matters to you matters to you. And Krishna is just watching you. Oh, what is this devotee going to do now? Hope you understand.
Yeah, that is called Dharma Sankat.
Yeah.
Dharma Sankat.
In fact, we should even not hesitate to give up that opportunity. If you're so loving of Krishna and what Bhagavad Gita says, if you're following that, then you should have no hesitation whatsoever. But when we have that hesitation, it shows how much I have to progress in devotional service to be able to even get to that mode of goodness. It's very difficult, dear devotees, when life presents you with opportunities and when we introspect if this is leading to me in Krishna consciousness or not. This is not easy for me. It has never been easy, but every time I introspect, I learn something. So that's Krishna's mercy and our Guru Maharaj's mercy, right? I mean, we've given this knowledge of scriptures, and how are we able to tie that in practicality matters a lot. It's just not like, yeah, but it's taking to the heart, and then see if you're able to follow through it. If you're not, then it's okay. Pray to Krishna, I have to get there. At least you understand you're not there, right?
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining and giving your association. Thank you, Radhika Kasturi Mataji, for your association. We are looking forward for your association again and again to hear from you, your own realizations and katha. We are always fortunate, Mataji, to hear from you. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
भगवेश राधिका कस्तूरी माता जी की
जय
जय. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, dear
हरे
devotees,
कृष्णा
for joining.
हरि
We close the
बोल
call here.